When was the last time that you were really you? Now, the reason I'm asking this question is that last night during my soul call, my monthly discussion group, the topic of the group was the essence of being. And one of the questions that I asked people was, when was the last time that you were really you? And we're talking about authenticity. We're talking about being aligned with your soul, being who you are. And, most of the people in the group basically said that they lost sight of who they were when they were kids. Some of them said ages 4 or 5. One of them said about 11, age 11 or 12. But pretty much everybody said it was when they were a child that they lost that essence of their being. They lost the essence of who they were. And then they had to work to regain that and, as I call, realign with themselves. So when we talk about realignment, I'm talking about the soul and what happens to us when we misalign. And that's what my whole soul health model is about, if you are familiar with it. Excuse me, it's that whole idea that we feel the worst when we are misaligned. But think back to, was it in childhood that you felt misaligned? Was it childhood when you felt like you had to kind of give up who you were and start acting a certain way for parents or for society or for classmates or the schools or whatever it might have been? But when was it that you really might have lost the essence of who you were, to the point where that sense of being, that groundedness, that alignment went away for a while? And so, if you think about that, it's usually in childhood. It's usually when we kind of give up our, quote, innocence, when we give up that sense of, gosh, this is just who I am. I'm just being a kid. I'm just kind of going along life. And all of a sudden you start getting these messages, whether it's from parents, whether it's from your peers, whether it's from whomever, society, that the way you are is not okay. Soul health to me is all about aligning with yourself, really figuring out all the aspects, all the branches of the human condition, that who you are within each one of those branches, and finding a way to align yourself within each one of those branches. When we align, that's when life feels like it's moving along really smoothly. When we are misaligned, that's when we feel things are clunky and that we're not happy, and there's a sense of kind of depression or anxiety or kind of that we just feel like something's not quite right. So, that whole idea of the authenticity of the soul helping us with soul health is so key. It is so absolutely key in us getting to where we need to be. But just for a minute, think back to, when was it that you were last your true self? When was it that you could just be who you are and not feel like you were editing yourself or behaving a certain way for others, or for society, like I said, or for work or whatever that might be? So just think back to that and think about how it felt when you could align, when you could really be who you are and just be in your own truth. Now, I've been talking a lot lately about self-love, and how self-love really is at the core of every concern that we have within the human condition. And in essence, what happens is that once we lose our sense of being, sense of ourselves, we also stop loving ourselves. We start to judge ourselves. We start to act a certain way for the sake of others. And we lose that sense of just loving our lives and loving who we are. And that's when that discomfort comes up. That's when that misalignment starts playing on us. So I really just wanted to shoot that message to you today, to really have you think about, when was the last time that you were really you? And how can you get that back? What is it you need to do in order to align your life and your soul so that you can live that radiant life? Because that is where our health and that essence and that radiance comes from, is when we are in our truth and when we are all lined up. So think about that authenticity of the soul. Think of what you need to do to get yourself back in line with yourself, with your soul, how that, I call it the sweet spot of the soul, how you can find that sweet spot of the soul and keep it, and not worry so much about what others think or say about you, because that's their stuff. But your stuff is getting yourself realigned. So just give that some thought. I would love to hear your comments. I hope you have a wonderful day. If you'd like more information, go to my website at www.drcatherinetkelly.com and just keep sending me your feedback. Have a great day.